Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. The Bermuda Triangle is acute. Alright, we sound good. Buckle up. This one's titled Nowhere to Go. Housing Insecurity for Seniors Living Alone. Grandpa Jack special from downtown. This is actually kind of messed up. Let me send to this gentleman. This is Offended Outcast. We're going to go ahead and just give him a like. And we might just, we're going to subscribe to him just because he might need it. But I think like old people, like this gentleman here, I think they got screwed the hardest. This will make sense.
Welcome back to Offended Outcast. Today we're talking about a quiet crisis that's pushing our elders to the brink. Housing insecurity for seniors living alone. Nowhere to go. You won't see it on the evening news. You won't hear politicians campaigning on it. But it's happening everywhere. Behind closed doors, in parking lots, in motel rooms, in shelters. Older adults, grandmothers, widowers, disabled elders are losing their homes or barely holding on. This is not just about rising rent. It's about a collapsing system. One that leaves those who've worked their whole lives with nowhere to go in the end.
This is where I was getting at real fast. I want you to look right here. I could be tripping, but that looks like something that's in an RV. Because if that's in a house, that's an oddly small skylight. But this is what I mean before we get really deep here with old man Rickles here. Okay, I already like this guy off rip. I wish he was my grandfather. What I mean is all the people that worked and were promised the retirement deal. I know I harp on this all the time, but really think about it. Really think about it. Imagine you actually did do everything you were told. You did it right for 65 years. Then today happens. Just imagine that. Just think about it for a second. Okay, we thought about it. That's all I'm really just want to harp on that because everyone thinks boomers and all these people just got fucking rich. The truth is most of them ended up with just some Social Security, maybe a little 401k. They basically ended up with just enough. For instance, my dad passed away at 72, but he ended up with just $1,200, $1,100 a month Social Security. Okay, now, hold on. In 2010, that was chill. I put him in a trailer park, right on the water, on the ocean, $500 a month. 4 seniors. Okay, that was okay, but that's where most of these people ended up, was the $500 a month trailer. Now, you guessed it. Where the fuck are you going to find a trailer on the water in America for $500 a month? Anybody in here? Nestor's not here today. All right, ask him. You got it right. 0 people.
What housing insecurity looks like. Housing insecurity doesn't always mean homelessness. It means paying more than 50% of their income on rent, living in unsafe, deteriorating homes, facing eviction with nowhere to turn, couch surfing, staying in their cars, or...
No, dude. I have a hard time imagining my Grandpa Jack. He lived till he's 92, like by himself the whole way through. Outlived 2 of his own kids. Literally. I have a hard time imagining him couch surfing. What? What? You know what's fucked up? I have a easier time imagining older people living in an RV, like I think this gentleman might be. I'm not sure. I don't want to jump the gun here, but this looks like an RV. Than I do this guy couch surfing. Like my dad, we were living in California for a bit, and so I basically paid my dad's way for the last 10 years of his life, just because I loved him and he gave me a great life, right? and it's your pops. You're not going to just let him go homeless. Well, I kind of did for a little bit, but that's beside the point. The point is in California, I remember looking up rooms for rent because I had to get him somewhere to live. We were losing our apartment. And so I found this guy. His name was Mick. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was much older. Probably 75, 80 years old. And my dad was only 65 at the time. And I remember I get him on the phone, and he couldn't be more ecstatic that somebody around his age, he needed a roommate. He was like, I can't live, everything's gone up. And this was in California, 2018, 2019. California already hit like crazy rents. So I remember moving him in and thinking to myself, this guy Mick was just opening up. He's like, yeah, if I don't get somebody in here, I'm going to lose my place. He's like, my HOA dues doubled and, everything went up. And I need somebody in this room. And I remember just being like, damn. But come to find out, this was normal. There was like there's special websites for seniors to live with other seniors. And it just blew my mind. And it's something I never would have fucking known about had I not had a dad to try and get in there. So anyways, my dad made Mick's life a living hell. And he lasted there about 2 months before I had to move him out of there. And I hope Mick's doing okay if he's still alive. But that was trippy. And that was then. This is now. Something to think about.
Or moving from motel to motel. Being trapped in abusive situations just to keep a roof overhead. For seniors, these situations can be deadly. A broken heater in the winter, a leaky roof and mold, stairs without railings, and no one to call.
Not to mention, no offense, but when you're at this age, you know when you you get sick, you get like a cold or something, or like you sprain your ankle or you maybe break a finger. Well, at this age, dude, just getting a cold could be like, this might be it. There might not be any coming back from this. I mean, really think about that for a second. I was in a gnarly car accident recently with my my aunt and my uncle, and they're in their 80s. And they got fucked up, right? Like hospitalized, just fractured sternum, snapped wrist and stuff. It was a gnarly car accident. And all I could think about, even now, it's been a couple months now, and I just talked to them, they're still healing. And I remember thinking to myself, going, I hope they come back from this. I think they'll be okay, but it's kind of gnarly, especially if you're alone. You imagine just being alone, just fucking thugging it out, 80 years old? That's rough shit, dude. Just saying.
No family and no help. The world says, well, at least they have a place to stay. But survival isn't the same as stability. The financial trap. Rent versus Social Security. Let's look at the math. The national average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $1,300 to $1,700 a month.
Yeah, $1,700 in South Florida is more like it.
Average Social Security check? About $1,900. That leaves maybe $200 to $400 for everything else.
I'm gonna go ahead and say $1,900. No, I'm gonna say no. Let me look this up. Average Social Security check in 2025. If I had Nestor here, Nestor's not doing his job today. He's off. Okay, the average Social Security payment for retired workers in June 2025 was $2,000 a month. Hold on. Damn, I wish my dad was getting $2,000 a month, because there's so many circumstances. Like, I'm not even kidding you, just because I had to deal with this. Oh, yeah, shout out to my homie Chris. I keep forgetting. I've been plugging his channel, $1 Million Business Maker. He's my homie. He's got like a fun show, very smart businessman, and he's just a cool fucking guy. He's been on the show before. $1 Million Business Maker. Go give him a shout. Give him a sub. Tell him Jack sent you. Anyways, my point is there's a lot of people who get nowhere near $1,900 a month. That's kind of where I was getting at. Let me see the comments on this. I got to see what they're talking about. Because, dude, Yeah, I don't. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, to me, $2,000 a month Social Security, that's like fucking big time, dude. A lot of people only getting 1,000, 700, 700. Regardless of age, many people are being priced out of this country. Yeah, but think about it like this: when you're 75, how hard can you hustle? Is kind of my point. Like, how hard can you grind, right? And I get it, the argument of, well, they had it easy all the way up until now. Yeah, kinda, in a sense, but most of them dedicated their whole lives to one company, right? Think about that. We live in an age now where we know better than to probably dedicate our lives to just one company forever, right? We kind of we know now the probability of what's going on there. So at least we can kind of decide to kind of live our lives now, because a lot of these people, they chose to wait to live their lives. And then we ended up here. That's why I'm saying I think seniors of this age kind of got it the worst. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Not all of them, but a lot of them. My 92-year-old dad lives with us. Yeah, my dad lived with me. I think that's normal, especially if you have a lot of people aren't going to have kids in the future. So that's great. I'm 71, and everything you said is true. It's horrible for us seniors and veterans. God bless us. This is the only country in the world that treats our elderly and disabled like this today. We need to change it. Not to mention, you hear the whole thing of like, well, even if I did have kids, they're just going to throw me in a nursing home. Okay, good. At least someone's going to throw you in the nursing home, right? Imagine trying to figure that out on your own, right? At this age, imagine. Just fucking imagine, right? All right, back to the thing. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. I had to do this for my parents, or my dad at least. I had to get him into a home. I had to house him. I had to take, make sure he was good. Unfortunately, there's a lot of those people. It's kind of fucked up, actually. Not to get too depressing on this beautiful Sunday. But, yeah, anyways, back to Old Man Rickles here.
Food, meds, utilities, transportation, car insurance. That's not budgeting. That's begging reality to back off. And for millions, the rent is actually higher than their Social Security check.
Yeah.
Which means they're borrowing, falling behind, or just plain out losing their home. That's what happened to me. I literally got priced out of my home. They didn't plan for this. They were told Social Security would take care of them. But no one told them that housing costs would skyrocket while their benefits crawl. Gentrification, evictions, and the displacement.
That's what I was kind of getting at with they got fucked the hardest. That's what I was getting at. I'm not saying we have it harder or easier, or they had it all fucking chilling. You could be a hippie for 10 years, get out of being a hippie and get your life together. Everything's fine. One job. I'm not saying that's not true. But what I am saying is a lot of these people, this is what they truly believed in. So anybody my age, 40, 45, under that, 25, who knows that what I'm saying is at least we get to kind of say, fuck it now. It's nice to know the truth versus end up in this situation. I got to hear him out. That's all I'm trying to say. I've just seen it happen firsthand. And, until you walk into one of these government facilities, which I've done, which is basically free housing for seniors who don't have a backup plan or only get $700 a month Social Security. When you see that firsthand and how many of them there are, you're kind of like, you just go, whoa. You don't realize it. You don't realize it. It's a lot more than you think. It's kind of fucked up, actually. Like, it's a really surreal situation. I have footage of inside this place, man. And inside this government retirement home. It kind of felt like a prison. I've never been to prison, but I've been to jail. It felt almost like a jail with a courtyard. Like, you can do some things. The food was, oh, diabolical. It was atrocious. It was kind of fucked up. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm trying. I'm just saying you don't realize it. That's all I'm trying to say. This dude does live in an RV. I fucking called it. That's crazy.
Displacement of the elderly. Cities are being revitalized. Neighborhoods are being developed. But what that really means is seniors are being pushed out. Longtime tenants evicted so landlords can jack up the rent. Entire buildings are being flipped into Airbnb units. Mobile home parks are sold to corporations who then triple the lot rent. Seniors priced out of the only communities they've ever known.
That's what I was talking about. My dad. Remember what I said about my dad's rent? Literally on the ocean. You could throw a fucking fishing rod out from the front door. A lot of puffer fish. First time I ever caught a puffer fish. So many puffer fish in this area. I don't know why, but $500 a month. Now, I don't even know what the price is now. But I guarantee you it's not fucking $500 a month. Even the shittiest trailer park, I put them in a real shithole. $350 a month. Even that place, last time I looked, $1,200 a month. It's literally falling apart. It's like a studio trailer. You can't even drive it. Piece of shit. $1,200 a month. But this is where these guys would go. That's the fucked up part. And I know a lot of us are too proud to even think about moving into a trailer. But when you reach this age, you probably don't give a fuck. I'm just going to go out there and throw it out. Throw it on a whim. Just a hypothetical guess. You just want somewhere where your money's going to last you. Which doesn't exist. It's fucked up. I know it's fucked up for everybody. But just put yourself in Grandpa Jack's shoes here. If he even owns shoes. I don't know. Just kidding.
1 week, you're part of the neighborhood. The next, you're a problem in the way of progress. And with no savings, no mobility, and no one to help move, they're left with few, if any, options. The dangers of living alone while housing insecure. Living alone is hard enough when you're secure, but when you're not, you become vulnerable to scams and predatory landlords, neglect or delayed repairs that can be life-threatening, falls or medical emergencies with no one around to help, extreme isolation that takes a toll on physical and mental health, and if eviction does come, there's no one to stay with, no one to store your belongings, and no one to fight for you. You lose your shelter, you lose your personal effects, but you also lose your sense of safety, identity, and hope.
Jesus Christ. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm going to leave the rest of this for you guys to watch. I'm going to go in the comment section. But this is something, though, where it's like... It's fucking brutal. And these, like, cheap free places, which do exist from the government for these nursing homes, there's, like, 2-year, 3-year waits. You got to wait till someone dies. Then you got to see what place you're in. But if you're all alone, I mean, how are you even navigating that? It's kind of really fucked up. And what's even worse is so many of us are going to end up with no kids and no partner. I know everything comes to an end. I get it, right? It's not like he's had to probably suffer his entire life. That is the downside of us being here right now, where it's like, fuck, like, what are we going to do when we're his age? I'm not saying these people didn't have it made all the way up until now. I'm more getting along the lines of they really got lied to. That's what I'm trying to get across here. It's fucking bizarre shit, man. My good friend is elderly. She can no longer afford her rent. They are kicking her out, and they said they will throw everything in the street. We got social services involved. When she put it... Here's my thing right now, though. They don't have... Where are they going to put all of these people is what I'm saying. That is where I'm getting at. I am teetering on the edge of this reality, hanging on for dear life. Okay. This old man is telling the truth. People, wake up. I was paying $1,900 a month for a small apartment. I was so blessed that I was able to buy a small mobile home with a piece of property. I own it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the important part about, they go, why aren't these boomers selling their homes? It's like, well, if they do, where the fuck are they going to go? Like, seriously. Like, if you have a paid off house, that was kind of the big reason of owning a home, is to get to the point where when you do have that finite amount of money coming in, your bills are covered, you know? That's why you see like that old ass motherfucker driving that 2003 Buick. There's a reason for that. That's part of the game plan. No bills. A man with no bills is a rich man. I know that doesn't necessarily make sense, but it's true. 59 and disabled. I live with 3 other family members as roommates. Only one can go live by himself. The American dream is a nightmare now. Dang, dang, dang. Yeah, I actually had my dad living in this flop house. This is crazy. In California, after he fucked up over at Old Man Mick's house, I put him in this flop house, right? This is fucked up. My dad had like a drug problem, okay? So there was like 12 people living in a 5-bedroom home. Everybody shared rooms. And my dad was 65 at the time, and there was one other guy his age. But they were sharing rooms with like 25-year-olds, 34-year-olds, 40-year-olds. They were all kind of degenerates, but they needed somewhere to live. And but I couldn't believe that there was another, 65-year-old in the same situation as my dad, like living at this, like in South Central LA too. Fucked up on the corner of Imperial and Avalon. Anybody who knows that area, pretty rough. But one day I came home and I came to pick him up. I couldn't find my dad, and all of a sudden this young black guy comes out. He's like, "Yo, Jack, your dad's a legend, bro." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "He just did the fattest line I've ever seen." My dad was 65 doing coke with a bunch of 25-year-olds. I never even done coke. I go in there. I'm like, "Dad, you get your ass over here." I felt like I was the dad in that situation. Point is a bunch of people were living in a flop house, and there was 2 seniors in there doing cocaine. All right, I'm sitting there going, "What the fuck is going on?" True story. Okay, let me see. Let's get one more good comment. We'll wind this down. I'm 63, worried about retirement. I have 8 years left to pay off my mortgage. I hope I can do it. The animation industry I've worked in for 35 years is downsizing big time, and I never thought I'd retire because I love my job. Who knew AI was going to be my competition? I think a big part of it is, I don't say this all the time. The man with no bills thing, we have to adopt that like now, in my personal opinion, right? And I get living for now. I'm doing that too. I'm having a gay old time. I get that. But I think if we can practice like kind of old man Jack original game plan of having paid off everything as soon as possible and then live like that forever, no matter how much money you're making, is kind of the only way out. Or moving to another country with American dollars. That's another game plan, at least for right now. But I think that's the biggest one. And I'm doing that. Like, I'm making the most money I've ever made, and I have like the lowest bills. My cars are paid. I'm driving the Grandpa Jack special. I'm living in my house isn't paid off, but like, my point is I'm doing that now versus waiting until it's like, yeah, I'll have everything paid off right in time by 60. Then I can do that. No. Nah, I'm doing that now. Right now. I'm being for real, because there's a high probability you make it to 65. There's a high probability of that. This is happening to my 71-year-old brother right now. He gets $2,500 disability, but his rent, utilities, property taxes, insurance, food, rent has risen faster than his income. But here's the fucked up part. None of us will probably get this. Like, these people are special in that regard, right? Like, these people are special to be getting that. And I don't think if you're 30 right now or 35, I don't think this is going to be, or maybe we will get $2,500 30 years from now when it's worth substantially less. Anyways, give this guy some support. I think he needs it. His offended outcast. Solid talk. Fuck, dude. It's weird not having Nestor in here. Anyways, fuck. You leave your thoughts. Happy Sunday, right? Go way to be depressing, Jack. Asshole. Classic.